gentlemen, here comes the man we have been waiting for. All right. Every phone is turned toward the southern part of this hall. And I want to announce the arrival of the indefatigable Mr. Peter Obi. Ogute Nigeria. He's right here. Please say where you are. Please say where you are.
Music on trendybeats.com.
Carry me they go, Obi carry me they go to New Niger. Carry me they go, Obi carry me they go to New Niger. Carry us to go, Obi carry us to go to New Nigeria. Obi carry us to go to New Niger. For New Nigeria, United Nigeria, a secured Nigeria, standard education.
Please take your seats. Once again, I want you to rise and welcome Mr. Peter Obi. Then, we the days are difficult for him. And we are to take your seats. Take your seats. The Rock, I welcome you, sir. We are not going to go into frivolities and niceties, but I want to request that the man of the moment, Mr. Peter Obi, will now come up stage to address us now. A round of applause for him. Please take it. I want the cameraman to get me as I'm shaking his hand. It's not easy. You know what I mean? Mr. Peter Obi, welcome, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Now, there is.
Thank you. Let me very respectfully stand on all due and existing protocol, but I have some brothers here that I must recognize. I don't know. Let me start with the organizer of this event. I thank you most sincerely. And I thank my brother, the former minister, Brother Frank Nweke. I thank Valo Zibo. All the dignitaries that are here in front, if I don't remember, just know that all of you are VIPs and dignitaries. The reason why it looks as if I was hurrying to talk is not because I have somewhere I'm rushing. Yes, I'm going back to Lagos. But what is most important is for me to most sincerely apologize to all of you. I am very, very sorry to have kept you all this while. No, it's not good to do this type of thing. I can tell you it's been a very difficult day in the sense that I had a few clashes. I had to be in Calabar, I had to be in Bayelsa, and I had to be here. And of course, everywhere you go, you have to attend to everything and all that. And I have to be in Lagos for an event tonight. So I have to run to Lagos. But, you know, let me tell you, like I told the people in Calabar when I said to them, I'm going to leave, they were feeling, I said, well, listen, I'm looking for a job. And I have to see all the owners of the country. You know, when you're looking for a job, you have to go to the people who owns the company or owns the place. You are the owners. So I'm looking for a job. So I have to see you. And you don't apply to job through surrogate. You come personally because I want to listen to you personally. So let me thank you. I know that we must have a topic for today. Shaping the future. Okay. I think I don't need to tell you anything about the future. All I can tell you is that if you look at Nigeria today, your country, first is that the people I see here is the future. You are the future. But that future, nobody can build it for you except you. You must take control of it. So what you are about to do now is to hire the CEO for your future. And unless you hire that CEO, you're going to get it wrong. You live in a country today where you don't have faith. I can assure you, if they said to you today, how many of you want to leave this country? Don't be shy. Raise your hand. Let me tell you. Don't be shy of saying that. There's things that I tell people, there's nobody who wants to live where there's war. Nobody lives where, what drives people having faith, because they don't have faith. What drives people having faith is hope. If we go to church on a Sunday and the priest said there's no heaven, what do you think will happen? Everybody will go home. Nobody stays where there's no hope. There must be what drives the people's future is hope. And the reason why you want to live here is because you don't have hope. Nobody knowingly goes to where there's a problem. Go to your house, you see ants. Ants, this is animal moving. You put fire here, they'll turn. So even the animal, the ants don't want trouble. If you put sugar, they'll come. But if you put fire, you see them, they turn away. Because they don't want trouble. They want sweet. That sweet is their hope. And once they dictate it, one will come, the rest will follow him. That's how you attract foreign investment. Your country today is going through troubled times. It's qualified for two things that makes a failed state. When you're no longer in control of your territory, everybody is insecure here, including you. Nobody's safe. Nobody knows. The only thing you hear now is bad news. Number two is when you're no longer in control of your economy. Your parents, yourself, you're having a problem. You don't have a job. It is difficult for you to know where the next meal will come from. Your parents no longer know what they're going to spend for a bag of rice today or a bag of beans. If they send somebody to the market, when it comes back, whatever it comes back, that is the price for it for that day. You can't plan with that. So you must change. Why did we arrive here? This is cumulative effect of bad leadership over the years. It is one person can do good. Frank has been in government when they strive hard to cancel our debts. So we are not owing by the time they left. Today, from a position where our foreign and domestic debts was less than $10 billion when they left, they cleaned out outside ones. Today, our total debt is over $130 billion. And nobody can show anything for it. You know what it means for you that you get up in the morning, you've given him, money has been borrowed, nobody, no new furniture, no new this. Everybody's telling story. That is the state of their country. We're not in a mess. The consequence is that within the time they left office and town, we moved unemployment of about less than 15% to about 35%. So you have doubled your unemployment, and you doubled your poverty, and you have crisis. If you don't know where the next meal is come from, you are dangerous. And it's not because anything. If you lock all of us up here now, for 4 days, everybody is looking for food. Nobody knows who will do anything wrong. I will be looking for food. We will be looking for food. If it gets longer, we might eat each other. It's simple. So you double the poverty. People no longer have job. They don't have anything. You have 35% unemployment. With youth unemployment of almost 60%. Young people in their productive age, with full energy, with talent, no job. It's a crisis for any country of the world, not just Nigeria. And that's what you're facing through. You have 20 million out of school children. You have all sorts of things going on. I don't want to tell you about what is wrong, because you know what is wrong, because it affects you every day. What you want to hear now is, how do we start getting out of here? Because it's no longer what, I had an uncle years back. So that's why you say you know everything. My uncle was arrested in the village, and they put handcuffs in his hand. And they were going away. Everybody who told him in the village and said, okay, what is wrong? He said, there's nothing wrong. Okay, what is wrong? There's nothing wrong. And they called me and said, okay, they've arrested Okoye. We don't know why they came to the village and took him, blah, 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 but it was a handcuff. Okoye is always causing one problem or another. He has insulted the police, deputy DPO, blah, blah. So, I called Okoye. I called them and said, you went to his house and this happened, leave Okoye now. You know, I said, but the man is always, I said, leave him. So they left him. So I came to the village and I asked him, this man saw you. You told him there's no problem. This man saw you. He said, he caused all of them. He will call this one and say, you're a very stupid man. God will punish you. This one, he said, they're all stupid. They saw trouble in my hand and they're asking me about trouble. Because there's trouble in his hand already. So why I ask him whether there's trouble? Trouble is there now because he's the handcuff. So all of you know the trouble. What are we going to do this? Next year's election, we must elect people who are competent. 18 of us is going to tell you the same problem. 18 of us will tell you the same thing. Nobody's going to tell you, we are going to tell you sweet things. We want to do this, want to do that, want to do that. None of us will promise everything that is good. My dear people, the question is that you must verify the 18 of us. It is now time to listen and say, next year's election, from president to the last person, you must verify it. We have no room for experiment again. It is not going to be based on party. It's going to be based on person. We're not going to talk about structure. The structure you hear people talk about today is structure of criminality. Structure of destruction. Structure that brought us to this junction. That's what we want to remove. We want to remove that structure and put in a structure of development. We will offer what we're going to do. What do you need to do? First is that a government must focus on fighting and dealing with the issue of security of life and property. Nigerians must be secured. If you secure Nigeria today, in Enugu and everything, you get the farmers to go back to the farm. And when they go back to the farm, you bring down food inflation. So we'll start seeing food prices at affordable price. Food inflation will come down, things will start changing. How are you going to do it? You need to scale up the manpower in your police, in your army, your navy, the whole agencies are lowly manned. We have 370,000 police people, but the IG told me it's about 320. If you remove about 70,000 and following people like me around, it is down to 250. For a country of 270 million people, it cannot work. Egypt is 100 million and they have about 1 million police. So you need to upscale that. By that you're creating jobs, you're creating everything, you must secure the place. And the remaining ones are poorly equipped. Only half have guns. We must equip them. We must employ them. We must increase our manpower, security manpower, employ them and equip them. When you do that, simultaneously as you're doing it, you're tackling moving Nigeria from consumption to production. Once the country is productive, it will start pulling people out of poverty. The more you pull people out of poverty, the more people have means of livelihood, the more you reduce criminality. Nobody wants to go and commit problem, be in jail if he finds food to eat. You must invest in the youth. That is the future of Nigeria. We must invest in you, must put money in your hands. Because you have the energy and the talent to develop new companies. Every country of the world is the base, the engine of growth in any country of the world is what you call micro, small enterprises, which is you. We must invest in you. That is the future. Anything short of that, we are wasting everybody's time. So we must. And how do you start it? We will think about feeding ourselves. Nigeria must feed itself. We can no longer continue to be dependent on this. And feeding ourselves means that people will invest in agriculture and everything. Nigeria today is not feeding itself. A country of 220 million people, if India at 1.4 billion can feed itself, Nigeria for 220 million can feed itself. We have more farmland than India. India is 1.4 billion people living on 3.2 million square kilometers of land. We are 220 living on 923,000 square kilometers, which means we live on a third of Indian land and we are 1/7 of their population. So there's no way we have more land space than India. So if we have more land space than India, we have more to cultivate to feed ourselves. Look, go to Enugu State alone. All those lands in Uzuwan and everything. No. Go, I'm not talking about the Enugu State, Enugu capital. Go to Uzuwan. Go to Nsukka and fly around. We have enough land to cultivate things in Enugu to feed ourselves. Most of the land in Nigeria, over 50% of the arable land in Nigeria is not cultivated and we can't find food. No country in the world. No country in the world can do that. Because we are a consuming country. All everybody wants is where to share, where to make easy money. Those countries you want to go to, there's no free lunch. You have to work, but you'll be paid. That's what we want to do. So we must feed ourselves. If we feed ourselves today, the story will be different. Frank knows our GDP today is about 180 trillion naira, and agriculture is the highest. Yeah, we're not feeding ourselves. It's about 41 trillion, which is about 20-something%. If we feed ourselves, you double that. It will be about 80. And you're increasing the GDP of the country. That's where we will start. Without you start processing, you steal everything. Today, when we talk about criminality, people in government steal our oil. None of you here can steal oil. Let nobody tell you. Those who are stealing oil are people in government. You don't steal oil. It's not something you put in your pocket. I have this sweet in my pocket. I can go to ShopRite and steal it. This is not oil. Oil, you have to come with a tanker. And the tanker cannot come into Nigeria without Navy. And it won't go out without Navy. So somebody approved for it to be taken. So you must deal with that. We will stop that. People are telling you today there's something they call subsidy. And when they want to remove it, they make you riot. Subsidy is an organized crime. The amount of money we consume, the oil we consume, we cannot consume that quantity of oil for our population. Pakistan is the same population as us, 220. But they consume less than 50% of what we consume. So for me, from day one, I'm going to replace those who are drinking the extra and give them water. Because we need it. We need to deal with every penny. We need to bring back our money. We need to take back our money. I want to invest that money in you. We cannot spend 5-6 trillion annually for subsidy and spend 50% of that. We spend more money in subsidy than we spend in education or health. Do any of you have car? Maybe one or two. So what is subsidy to you? It doesn't bother you. They say, oh, the price of transport will go up. It's not true. We will ensure that we do local refining. Dangote will soon be ready. There's other modular refineries and other people. The even people, they say they are doing it illegally. I'll call them and say, you don't need to do it illegally. Let's do it legally. It's simple. We will change that. That is what future we want to bring. The future we want to bring is a future that will give you hope. We will change that by making the country productive, because your time investment, people are saying, how are you talking about being productive? To show you that your country is not productive, I'm going to give you 3 examples, 2 using states and 1 using your nation. Anambra State, Enugu State, everybody is waiting to share from oil. All the states in the north with a vast land. The biggest state in Nigeria, the largest state is Niger State. Niger State have a fertile land that can feed Nigeria. Niger State is 76.3 thousand square kilometers of land. Then, Niger State can feed Nigeria. But they are waiting for statutory allocation. Niger State is fertile land. 8 local governments, about 7 to 8 local governments, under the control of bandits. They can't feed themselves. They can't do anything. Netherlands without water is at 30,000 square kilometers of land. So Niger State is 2.5 times Netherlands. Netherlands last year did export of agricultural products $103 billion. 103 billion euros, 103 billion euros, 120 billion dollars. That means Netherlands last year No, don't worry. Don't worry, it's not about you.
Somebody is verifying.
No, it's not about you. The pilots that brought me here, if they wait for an extra 10 minutes, if they wait for extra 10 minutes, they won't be able to fly out of Enugu. Because I come with a chopper. But I can't leave you. I'd rather go to the airport and take them, let them go. So just wait. So what it is, so Niger State, if Niger State was able to do 1%, 1%, why just 1%? I did say 2%. 1%. If they were able to do 1% of what? 1%. I didn't say 2. 1% of what Netherlands did, they will be earn $1.2 billion. Just 1%. They have 2.5 times the land. I'm asking them to just do 1%. 1% would have given them $1.2 billion at 650 naira per dollar. It's about $750 billion. That is about 4 times, 5 times their budget. But they are waiting to share from oil money, which can give them maximum of 50 billion per annum. The same is other state I'm going to use. In the Niger State in North Central. I'm going to use another state North East. A medium state. Taraba. Taraba State is bigger than Belgium and Israel combined. Taraba State is 54.4 thousand square kilometers of land. Belgium is 30.9. Israel is 22.1. Both of them are 53. Taraba State is 54.4. But Taraba State cannot feed itself. He's waiting to share money from this. Taraba State is on plains of Mambila. So it can grow flour, coffee, and tea. I went to India. Sorry, let me leave India. I went to Kenya. If you go to Kenya, I went to the fields. Kenya did export of over $500 million of flour last year. Flour. What is sophisticated in flour? If you go there when they are doing Valentine, the amount of flies that are coming to carry flour away, you said, what are we doing here? I saw young girls and young boys who are not graduates plucking and packing flour. They were being paid $100. And we're in this country, we're not doing anything. They are waiting for statutory allocation. Ethiopia, an African country, did export of about $1.1 billion in coffee. We are waiting for statutory allocation. Sierra Leone, with all their trouble, exported $1.4 billion worth of tea. If you combine, all this can grow in Taraba. But they are waiting for statutory allocation. It cannot continue. Your entire country is about 220 million people, like I said earlier, living on 923,000 square kilometers of land. The total export of Nigeria last year is 18.9 trillion naira. If you divide it by 650, it's under 30 billion. Government has divided it by 410, so it's $47 billion. I divided by 650, it's under 30. Compare that with a country, another developing country, Vietnam. They live on 331,000 square kilometers of land. So they live on 1/3 of our land, and they have 100 million, half of our population. Their export last year is over $350 billion. So we couldn't do 10% of what they did. That is why you have a problem with your dollar exchange. Because how do you stabilize your currency? By your reserve. What drives your reserve? Your export. If you have nothing to sell, you have nothing now. You're just there. We have nothing to sell. The oil that used to give us the dollar, they are stealing it. We are the only. So, what are you doing? You need to make the country productive. It is what we are begging you. Next year's election is an existential election. It's an election that will say the country will exist or it will not exist because it will collapse. Give all these things people are telling you. And that's why I'm begging people, that is your future. Your future is tied to next year's election. Your future is electing people who have what it takes to. This vehicle needs a competent driver. Because those who drove it have knocked the engine. So we need people who fix it. We need to hire mechanics that will fix it and drive it. Otherwise, you have a problem. If you allow it the way it is today, it will consume everybody. And we are begging you, you can't shape the future. What will shape the future of Nigeria is competent leadership, who understands what development is all about, who knows that development is measured on HDI and can start investing in that, in health, in education, and per capita, pulling people out of poverty. And it must be clear. I was in a meeting the other day and seeing Guild of Editors the other day, some of you will see it. And somebody said, Peter, with all these things that you have, these ideas you have, supposing if you don't win and somebody else wins and wants to work with you, what will you do? I said, that is the problem of Nigeria. You want to hire a conductor and the driver sits at the back and be working with the driver. Then the motor will have an accident and keep both driver and conductor. The driver must be competent. It must be a qualified driver. We can no longer sit where we manage. We're not going to manage. Because we will not sit. Countries have overtaken us. I was with the Canadian ambassador 2 days ago. And I said to him, you don't know how I feel that in Nigeria applies for visa for Canada, he has to go to Kenya. We are giant of Africa. I went to see another ambassador. He told me he will invite me for G20 as observer. I said, I won't come. I will be a member. I will drive the country to be a member. There's nothing that makes, if you hear, any day you hear G7, G20, G anything, it's economy. If your economy and is up and running, they put you in 1G. Or you become G-less. That is the future I want to drive the country to. And that's what we are talking. So next year's election, please, do not vote for anybody based on tribe. Listen to all of us. Don't vote for anybody based on tribe. I'm from the Southeast. I'm an Igbo man. I'm not running this election based on tribe. I don't want anybody to vote for me. No sentiment. I'm a Nigerian. And I'm running as a Nigerian. I'm on. So, no tribe buys bread cheaper. Not in the north, not in the east. There's no road they turned here and said it's for Igbo people. Enugu Onitsha road is the bad. Enugu Port Harcourt is the bad. Kaduna Abuja is the bad. Everywhere in north is bad. Southwest road is southeast, east-west road is the bad. Calabar to Uyo is the bad. Everywhere is bad. So Lagos Ibadan, no pass. So there's no place they build road that it was so good, and they say it's for this tribe. Show me which tribe have uninterrupted electricity. So it's not a tribal thing. This is ethnic manipulation to keep our country down. No tribe. It will not be about religion. Let nobody tell you it's about Christian or Muslim. No. Forget about what they are doing. Nobody should tell you that. I'm a Christian. Christians don't buy bread cheaper. They cannot go to the market and say, I'm a Christian, you buy rice cheaper. The bag is the same thing for Muslims, for Christians, for everybody. It's only in this country that I tell you that story. I've lived everywhere in the world where Muslims are. The central mosque in London is built on the best piece of land in central London. The Queen donated the land free. He's not a Muslim. And it's cost millions of pounds. The Kali Church in Dubai, both the land and the church is built by Emir of Dubai. He's a Muslim. I go there. If you go there, this church was built by Emir of Dubai. So let nobody tell you it is not a religious issue. The North is poorer. They have been in power. They are more insecure. They've been in power. So don't nobody tell you. Whether it's in Enugu, whether it's in Aba, whether it's everywhere. Nigeria is collapsing. Nobody should tell you we're in power, we're in charge. So please, do not listen to any of us who behave as if we are God. You see somebody today say, I'm the one who is going to determine who is going to be local government chairman, governor, or president. You're not God. God created all of us. There's nothing that made me any better or any different than any of you here. Whatever I've achieved, whatever I have, is by His grace. There's nothing different. And you cannot abuse grace. So anybody who comes out and say, I will determine who will come here, is not God. Tell him that he's not God. That is why I'm running. I want to be president. I'm applying for the job. That's why I'm here. I'm here. Let everybody who wants to do the same thing come here and explain to you. Not via somebody. No representative. I told them in Kalamana, no representative. It's only in Nigeria you're running for election. You're looking for a job. They say, why can't his spokesman speak for him? When Obama was on, did you see spokesman? It's only in Nigeria. You are taking what I'm saying now. Why? Tomorrow, you say, Oga, you're not doing what you said. Not tomorrow when you say, hey, it wasn't me. It was Mr. Ozibo who told you. No. I'm the one applying for the job. You are the owner of the company. So the applicant must appear before the owners. Not via anybody. If I have my time, I'll visit every university. I want to go and tell them what I'm going to do. I want to tell them that university will not be closed under me. Because that is what is going to happen. So you have to go to them. You cannot go and stay miles away and say, it's my turn. No way. It is turn of Nigerians' youth to take back their country. And you must take it back. That's what we want to do. Whoever you give it now will know it was elected by the people. That is why I'm running. That's why I don't care about what anybody says, oh, these people are too big. We're all applying for a job. Big man, small man. The owners of the company will say who they will employ. So don't stay in your house and say, I am qualified, I'm this, I'm that. We put you there before. You stole our money, and you want to use it to intimidate us. No way. Next year's election will be based on character we can trust. So if Peter Obi says, I will fight corruption, and I'll fight it, because corruption kills three things that makes a society. It kills entrepreneurship, it kills professionalism, and it kills hard work. So you must stop it. If I say I'm going to do it, I say, go to Anambra State. I was governor there. If you go there and their money is missing, hold me responsible. And when you talk about corruption, corruption is abuse of, when you measure corruption, index, perception index is measured on management of public assets. So if you were a governor, local government chairman, or president, how did you manage the assets of the country? That includes nepotism. How many of the nations did you give job? How many of them had job? So you can go to Anambra State and ask them whether Peter Obi's chief of staff, commissioner, was from his village. Not one. You can ask them, includes how you manage land and the resources of the state. You can go to Anambra State. If you see any piece of land allocated to Peter Obi, directly or indirectly, come and stop running. I have a case of war where my housing person in charge of our housing authority gave me land, and I told him no. So I can tell you that the day I left office, I was not owing, people can doubt anything, I was not owing one, any pension to any civil, listen to me, to any civil servant. I was not owing salary to any civil servant. I was not owing gratuity to any civil servant. No contractor. I didn't say no contractor who gave job was not being owed. No contractor who has executed his job, certificate issued as being owed. And no, I repeat, no supplier who has supplied goods was not paid. And as at that day I left, Nigeria was being measured based on HDI and MDG. I was number one. And you can go and check. We moved our education from number 26 to number 1. Our health was working and everything. I didn't finish doing anything. No. There's things to remain because government is a continuum. But the that day I left, if you go to, as at that day, if you work until date, the banks are still in Nigeria, your relations are working here, they know if you go to Access Bank, managed by then by Ike Mokwede from Edo State as managing director, I had $50 million, 10 billion naira for Anambra State. If you go to Diamond Bank, managed by Alex Oti, then I have $50 million, 10 billion naira for Anambra State. If you go to Fidelity Bank, managed by Nnamdi Okonkwo, I have $50 million, 10 billion naira for Anambra State. My speaker then brought a law for me, which he wants me to sign, that I should be paid allowance, severance. They have to build a house for me in Oka, build a house for me in Abuja, and pay me certain amount, and I say, Mr. Speaker, I'm done. I'm going home to my children. Anambra State had never bought me pure water. Not go to Anambra State. They've never bought me a bottle of water since I left 9 years ago. I've never gone there. I don't own any land in Oka. I don't have a house in Oka. Where I was coming now, I told them that the present governor of Bauchi State saw me about a month ago. He said, you're the only governor I gave land in Abuja that haven't developed its own. And I said, I don't need a land house in Abuja. I manage my headache and my problems peacefully. The more of these things you owe, the more headache and more problem you put in your head. So I want to, it's all health problem issue. People think that owing a lot is also a health challenge. Because people will be telling you, no generator, no this, that. So for me, I left them and go home. What am I saying? Character you can trust. So go and verify. The person who wants to be your president must be competent. He must understand the issues and be able to explain to you. Don't listen to these people who tell you, hey, they have a fantastic written manifesto. No. Anybody can go and package it and write and circulate to you. And when 90% of your leaders don't know what is written in documents they are moving around, you must have the capacity. You must have the capacity. You must have the commitment. You must have the commitment to be able to drive the proper process. That's how societies are moved. This job requires physical and mental energy. It is not something waste time. It's something you have to know. I was in Oka yesterday. I spoke in Oka. I spoke in Enugu yesterday. As some of you know, where they have Christian council in Transekulu. I spoke in Owerri, and I spoke at Benin. Today I've been to Calabar, Bayelsa, and I'm here, and I'm going to Lagos. It requires physical and mental energy. Don't go and, it is not something you manage. We need to do it. Because where Nigeria is now, you need to work 30 hours or 24 hours a day to pull it out of the brains. My dear people, you have no other country. Your future is next year's election. So don't let nobody tell you shaping your future. I've only one thing to shape. Those who drive this vehicle, hire the proper drivers first. So you can sit down. Don't hire these people who don't know where they're going. If you don't know where you're going, every road will lead you there. That's how Nigeria is now. Turn left is good, turn right is good. You even worse that you have people who could not even tell you when things are bad or good. So they are dumb, they are deaf. So it is important. The future is in your hands. The people you hire is your future. And it's critical. If you do the wrong thing, the future will take revenge on you. God bless you.
We invite Noel Alomona to present the award to him before he leaves the stage. Please.
He wants to take some questions.
One or two.
Okay, he wants to take a question or two from people. Who can ask the questions? Okay.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Okay, let me ask this lady. They say ladies first.
My president. I'm sorry. My name is Chibua Basitonia. I have a worry. We've been here for a long time. Actually, we started yesterday. We've been bombarded, the energy, why we should vote. I mean, it's awesome. I don't know what to tell you, Noah. God bless you. My worry now is, why is it difficult? We are the ones bringing you in. The power lies with us. We elect you to work for us, and you are there. Why is it difficult in Nigeria to now say, you are not doing the right thing, please leave? Why is it difficult?
We take another question from the back. Sorry.
I can 5.
My name is Ike Chukwugwan. My question, sir, Mr. President, the incoming president, is please, we want to see actually like an input. Can we see more of this in the northern part of Nigeria? More of your engagement with the northern youths.
The final one from this side. Okay. I think you want to ask Kokun?
Mr. President, I greet you, sir. Please, my question goes like this. Why is it I was wondering, I was coming back on Thursday from Lagos, Ojota, where I entered vehicle to Delta State was double lane highway. But I entered from Ayambra to Enugu was single lane. And I was asking this question, why is it different that in Igbo, the Igbo leaders are not functional like what I see in other places? Why is the highway all the way from Health Bridge was single lane highway to Ebonyi State? And there was a fatal accident that happened that last month that consumed the whole passengers. Nobody survived. A shipping trailer crushed a bus because of one lane until Dave Omaye was doing a double lane. Another lane from Lagos to Delta State was double lane high lane. As I'm still speaking now, my mom called me that I should not come back to a Hamufisuzo, that Fulani is slaughtering people now. I should not enter vehicle today and tomorrow. And we have leaders and they're not doing anything. Thank you, sir.
I think you can take the question, sir.
Let me answer this three. Well, let me be honest with you. The last speaker, it will be difficult for me to answer that question. What I told you is the people you hire is your problem. These are things that will inform you to hire well. Because if your governor is sure that he was elected, you elected them, they will be able to push. When I was governor, Head Bridge Onitsha, when I was governor, you can't pass the Onitsha Head Bridge. If you pass Onitsha Head Bridge, you can't go anywhere. It was a mess. And I recall going to President Obasanjo and saying, sir, I want to do 10 lane for Head Bridge to Upper Iweka. He asked me, what are you talking? I said, yes. I want to do 2 lane on the outskirts, 2 lane here, and do 3 in between. What I want federal government to do for me, so award the contract, allow me to pay, and they refund me. And my brother, I was doing that road for Head Bridge. I was doing that road for Head Bridge to Omonia when I left government. And they were refunding Anambra State. The rest is, I can't say for other people. The people you elect is important. The person who told me about engaging more in the North, I thank you. You know, I didn't just come here. That's why I said, let me hear a question. I didn't come here just to talk to you. I also came to learn. Leadership, learning, and listening are inseparable. If you can't learn, and you can't listen and you can't learn, you shouldn't lead. Anybody who cannot do these 2 things should not lead. It's like a man who knows everything. If anybody knows everything, don't ever allow him to lead. He's an idiot. So, I've listened to you, and I assure you, I will make it happen. Madam, we can make people go. What we do here is that we celebrate criminality. Everybody here is worried now about who will be governor, who will be this. Peter Obi becomes governor. In my village, when I became governor, everybody knew I did not have a house. My village. Thank you. It will shock you that when I wanted to contest election, the first thing they told me is that I must come and build a house in my village. They said, you don't have a house. How can we vote for you to be a governor when you don't have a house in the village? I didn't say I want to build a house. I said I want to be governor. It has nothing to do with the building. And I'm happy that it's governor. While I was governor, everybody comes to me in Oka. Hey, this man, look at the house in his village. Look at the house in Ka. How can you be governor? You don't have a house in your village. You don't, hey, this thing is not this thing. People are laughing at you. Hey, who told those people to laugh? Am I a comedian? No. I was elected to do a job, not to build a house. I'm sure my sister, till today, you know I don't have a house in my village. My mother built one, 2-bedroom flat. I stayed there. December now I'm there. And it suits me. The people who want to live in mansion, it suits them. It doesn't conflict with my interests. I'm not a poor man. No. I'm a very comfortable man. I've made money, I'm rich, but I don't want, there's nothing there. The 2-bedroom is okay. I can sleep in it and wake up in the morning. The people that are living around me don't even have mansion. I have friends who build lawn tennis swimming pool in the village. How? People have not eaten. Why are you building this in the village? Is it when your relations come, you're swimming? When they have all the problem in the world? I have friends who build very lovely house, furnish it with white seats. When the villagers come, they're saying, you can't sit here, you can't sit. Why are you telling them? Why don't you buy the type that is there and put it in the seat you sit? That's why I'm living with them. No quarrel. I'm not happy with them. They want to see me always. So, you can. It is us that will ask them. What am I saying? If they vote me in, I steal their money, build a house, call bishop, call everybody, and doing housewarming, house opening, they will come. Bishop will be preaching. Whoever I got the money, let God double it. The people are singing. Everybody say, in other countries they call police because they know where it came from. You've stolen their money. Here they celebrate you. I don't want that type of life. My dear people, I have a flight to catch by 6. That's what they're warning me. But let me assure you that I remain in this race. I'm committed to Nigeria. And I've said to the Nigerian youth, hold me responsible. I'll change this country. I assure you of my commitment. I'm not joking about it. We will make it work. You'll be proud. We have Nigerians. We have a Nigeria, but we don't have Nigerians. I want to build Nigerians who will be happy. I was telling somebody yesterday, we are watching World Cup from our home. 220 million people. The entire African country that qualified for World Cup, all of them put together, is about 130 million. And we only is 220. And we cannot make it. Never. If I'm voted in, from 2023, we'll start planning the next World Cup. We cannot miss anything. We are giants, and we'll be giants. If you want to give us visa, you come here. We'll make our schools work. We're not going to go to school in Ghana or Kenya. They'll come here, because we are giants. Giants must behave as giants, or you resign and call yourself something else. That's what I want to do. Thank you, and God bless you.
Thank you. There will be, hold on, please, hold on. I am so happy that